What is a Chicano? The terms of Chicano and Chicana, also spelled Xicano or Xicana, are used as reference to the U.S. citizens of Mexican descent. However, those terms have a wide range of meanings in the various parts of the world. The term began to be widely used during the Chicano movement, mainly among Mexican Americans, especially in the movement's peak in the late 1960s and the early 1970s. For Mexicans, Chicano meant having Mexican parents or Mexican grandparents, but being born into U.S. soil. The origin of the word Chicano is disputed. Some critics claim it is a shortened form of Mexicano, Mexican in Spanish. The word Mexico, as spoken in its original language and by the Spaniards at the time of the conquest, was pronounced originally with a sh sound, sh. For example, Mexico, as opposed to the current pronunciation, and was transcribed with an X, as was the usage in Spanish at that time. The difference between the pronunciation and spelling of Chicano and Mexicano stems from the fact that the modern-day Spanish language experienced a change in pronunciation regarding a majority of words containing the letter X. For example, Mexico, Ximenes, Xavier, etc. The sh sound, or sh, was dropped. Clarification was needed, and in most but not all cases accompanied by a change of spelling, X to J. The word Chicano in the U.S. was evidently not affected by this change. The Chicano poet and writer Tino Villanueva traces the first documented use of the term to 1911, as referenced in a then unpublished essay by University of Texas anthropologist Jose Limon. Edward R. Simon and Richard Burrell report the use of this term in an essay by Mexican-American writer Mario Suarez, published in the Arizona Quarterly in 1947. Mexican Americans were not identified as a racial, ethnic category prior to the 1980 U.S. Census, and when the term Hispanic was first used in census reports. Some believe the word Chicamo with an M somehow became Chicano, which, unlike Chicamo, reflects the grammatical conventions of Spanish language ethno, such as Americano, Castellano, etc. However, Chicanos generally do not agree that the Chicamo was ever a word used within the culture, as its assertion is thus far entirely unsubstantiated. Therefore, most Chicanos do not agree that Chicano was ever derived from the word Chicamo. There is ample literary evidence to further substantiate that Chicano is a self-declaration, as a large body of Chicano literature exists with publication dates far predating the 1950s. There is also a substantial body of Chicano literature that predates both Razo and the Federal Census Bureau. According to one explanation, the pre-Columbian tribes in Mexico called themselves Mexicas, and the Spaniards employing the letter X, which at that time represented a sh and ch sound, sh or ch, spelled it Mexicas. The Indians later referred to themselves as Mexicanos and even as Chicanos, thus giving birth to the term Chicano. Thus far, the origins of the word remain inconclusive, as the term is not used outside Mexican American communities, further indicating that the term is primarily self-identifying. Ruben Salazar said it best: "Who is a Chicano? What does a Chicano want?" A Chicano is a Mexican American with a non-Anglo image of himself. He resents being told Columbus discovered America when the Chicanos' ancestors, the Mayans and Aztecs, founded highly sophisticated civilizations centuries before Spain financed the Italians' trip to the New World. Chicanos also resent Anglo announcements that Chicanos are culturally deprived and that them speaking Spanish or not speaking Spanish is a problem. Chicanos will tell you that their culture predates that of the Pilgrims and that Spanish was spoken in America before English, and so the problem is not theirs but the Anglos who don't speak Spanish. When you think you know what a Chicano's getting at, a natural to Mexico says that Chicano is an insulting term and may even quote the Spanish Academy to prove that Chicano derives from the word chiquirin. A Chicano will scoff and say that such Mexicans have been brainwashed by Anglos and that they've become Teotacos. This is the Chicano version of Uncle Tom. This type of Mexican American, Chicanos will argue, don't like the word Chicano because it's abrasive to their Anglo-oriented mind. What then is a Chicano? Chicanos say, if you have to ask, you'll never understand, much less become a Chicano. Actually, the word Chicano is as difficult to define as the word soul. Chicanos feel cheated. and they want to effect change. And we will not give up. We will do so as long as the movement lives on.